Section 1 from the book of Genesis. They travelled from Bethel. There was still some distance to come to Ephrath, and Rachel travailed. She had hard labour. While she was in hard labour, the midwife said to her, "Don't be afraid, for now you will have another son." As her soul was departing, for she died, she named him Benoni, but his father named him Benjamin. Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. Jacob set up a pillar on her grave, which is the pillar of Rachel's grave to this day. Israel travelled and spread his tent beyond the Tower of Eder. While Israel lived in that land, Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard of it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah were Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, were Dan and Naphtali. The sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, were Gad and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Paddan Aram. Jacob came to Isaac his father to Mamre, to Kiriath Arba, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac lived as foreigners. The days of Isaac were 180 years. Isaac breathed his last and died, and was gathered to his people, old and full of days. Esau and Jacob his sons buried him. Now this is the history of the generations of Esau, that is, Edom. Esau took his wives from the daughters of Canaan, Adah, the daughter of Elon, the Hittite, and Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, the Hivite, and Basemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebaioth. Adah bore to Esau Eliphaz, Basemath bore Reuel, Oholibamah bore Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau who were born to him in the land of Canaan. Esau took his wives, his sons, his daughters, and all the members of his household, with his livestock, all his animals, and all his possessions which he had gathered in the land of Canaan, and went into a land away from his brother Jacob. For their substance was too great for them to dwell together, and the land of their travels couldn't bear them because of their livestock. Esau lived in the hill country of Seir. Esau is Edom. Section 2 from the first book of Samuel. Then Samuel told the people the regulations of the kingdom, and wrote it in a book, and laid it up before everyone. Samuel sent all the people away, every man to his house. Saul also went to his house to Gibeah, and there went with him the army whose hearts God had touched. But certain worthless fellows said, "How shall this man save us?" They despised him, and brought him no gift. But he held his peace. Then Nahash the Ammonite came up, and encamped against Jabesh Gilead. And all the men of Jabesh said to Nahash, "Make a covenant with us, and we will serve you." Nahash the Ammonite said to them, "On this condition I will make it with you, that all your right eyes be put out, and I will lay it for a reproach on all Israel." The elders of Jabesh said to him, "Give us 7 days, that we may send messengers to all the borders of Israel, and then, if there is no one to save us, we will come out to you." Then the messengers came to Gibeah of Saul, and spoke these words in the ears of the people, and all the people lifted up their voice and wept. Behold, Saul came following the oxen out of the field, and Saul said, "What troubles the people that they weep?" They told him the words of the men of Jabesh. The Spirit of God came mightily on Saul when he heard those words, and his anger was kindled greatly. He took a yoke of oxen, and cut them in pieces, and sent them throughout all the borders of Israel by the hand of messengers, saying, "Whoever doesn't come out after Saul and after Samuel, so shall it be done to his oxen." The dread of everyone fell on the people, and they came out as one man. He counted them in Bezek, and the children of Israel were 300,000, and the men of Judah 30,000. They said to the messengers who came, "Thus you shall tell the men of Jabesh Gilead, tomorrow By the time the sun is hot, you shall have deliverance." The messengers came and told the men of Jabesh, and they were glad. Therefore the men of Jabesh said, "Tomorrow we will come out to you, and you shall do with us all that seems good to you." On the next day, Saul put the people in 3 groups, and they came into the midst of the camp in the morning watch, and struck the Ammonites until the heat of the day, and those who remained were scattered, so that no 2 of them were left together. The people said to Samuel, "Who is he who said, 'Shall Saul reign over us?' Bring those men, that we may put them to death." Saul said, "There shall not a man be put to death today, for today forever one has worked deliverance in Israel." And Samuel said to the people, "Come, and let us go to Gilgal and renew the kingdom there." All the people went to Gilgal, and there they made Saul king before everyone in Gilgal. And there they offered sacrifices of peace offerings before everyone. And there Saul and all the men of Israel rejoiced greatly. Samuel said to all Israel, "Behold, I have listened to your voice in all that you said to me, and have made a king over you. Now behold, the king walks before you, and I am old and grey-headed, and behold, my sons are with you, and I have walked before you from my youth to this day. Here I am, witness against me before everyone, and before his anointed. Whose ox have I taken? Whose donkey have I taken? Whom have I defrauded? Whom have I oppressed? Of whose hand have I taken a ransom to blind my eyes with it? I will restore it to you." They said, "You have not defrauded us, nor oppressed us, neither have you taken anything of any man's hand." He said to them, "Everyone is witness against you, and his anointed is witness today that you have not found anything in my hand." They said, "He is witness." Section 3 from the 2nd book of Chronicles. For everyone appeared to Solomon by night and said to him, "I have heard your prayer, and have chosen this place for myself as a house of sacrifice. If I shut up the sky so that there is no rain, or if I command the locust to devour the land, or if I send pestilence among my people, if my people, who are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray, and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven, and will forgive their sin, and will heal their land. Now my eyes shall be open, and my ears attentive to the prayer that is made in this place. For now I have chosen and made this house holy, that my name may be there forever, and my eyes and my heart shall be there perpetually. As for you, if you will walk before me as David your father walked, and do according to all that I have commanded you, and will keep my statutes and my ordinances, then I will establish the throne of your kingdom, according as I covenanted with David your father, saying, 'There shall not fail you a man to be ruler in Israel.' But if you turn away, and forsake my statutes and my commandments which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other gods, and worship them, then I will pluck them up by the roots out of my land which I have given them, and this house, which I have made holy for my name, I will put out of my sight, and I will make it a proverb and a byword among all peoples. This house, which is so tall, everyone who passes by it shall be astonished, and shall say, 'Why has everyone done thus to this land and to this house?' They shall answer, 'Because they abandoned everyone the God of their fathers, who brought them here out of the land of Egypt, and took other gods, worshipped them, and served them. Therefore he has brought all this evil on them.'" At the end of 20 years, in which Solomon had built the house of everyone and his own house, the cities which Hiram had given to Solomon, Solomon built them and caused the children of Israel to dwell there. Solomon went to Hamath-zobah and prevailed against it. He built Tadmor in the wilderness, and all the storage cities which he built in Hamath. He also built Beth Horon the upper, and Beth Horon the lower, fortified cities with walls, gates, and bars, and Baalath, and all the storage cities that Solomon had, and all the cities for his chariots, and the cities for his horsemen, and all that Solomon desired to build for his pleasure in Jerusalem and in Lebanon, and in all the land of his dominion. As for all the people who were left of the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, who were not of Israel, of their children who were left after them in the land, whom the children of Israel did not consume, of them Solomon conscripted forced labor to this day. But of the children of Israel Solomon made no servants for his work, but they were men of war, and chief of his captains, and rulers of his chariots and of his horsemen. These were the chief officers of King Solomon, even 250 who ruled over the people. Section 4 from the book of Mark. Then the Pharisees and some of the scribes gathered together to him, having come from Jerusalem. Now when they saw some of his disciples eating bread with defiled, that is, unwashed hands, they found fault. For the Pharisees and all the Jews don't eat unless they wash their hands and forearms, holding to the tradition of the elders. They don't eat when they come from the marketplace unless they bathe themselves, and there are many other things which they have received to hold to, washings of cups, pitchers, bronze vessels, and couches. The Pharisees and the scribes asked him, "Why don't your disciples walk according to the tradition of the elders, but eat their bread with unwashed hands?" He answered them, "Well did Isaiah prophesy of you hypocrites, as it is written, 'This people honors me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But they worship me in vain, teaching as doctrines the commandments of men. For you set aside the commandment of God, and hold tightly to the tradition of men, the washing of pitchers and cups, and you do many other such things." He said to them, "Full well do you reject the commandment of God, that you may keep your tradition. For Moses said, 'Honor your father and your mother,' and 'He who speaks evil of father or mother, let him be put to death.' But you say, 'If a man tells his father or his mother, whatever profit you might have received from me is korban,' that is to say, given to God, then you no longer allow him to do anything for his father or his mother, making void the word of God by your tradition, which you have handed down. You do many things like this." He called all the multitude to himself and said to them, "Hear me, all of you, and understand. There is nothing from outside of the man that going into him can defile him, but the things which proceed out of the man are those that defile him. If anyone has ears to hear, let him hear."